So, this is Patrick Harvey, former leader of the Scottish Greens, saying black women and disabled women are the same as men. Well, I would have probably put a better title than that, after all. And it's apparently the Scottish Greens announced plans to introduce a bill to tackle misogyny. And misogyny, honestly, when you look at it seriously, it's part of that destruction of the West, masculinity, all the rest of it. That everything's sexist, everything is offensive, everything. Think about this. But at the same time, a guy who has a delusion that they are apparently the opposite sex, but sanctioned, blessed by government ideology, essentially a cult ideology. If they want to undress in the women's changing room, well, they're all bigots and transphobes. Seriously. The madness.
Who identifies as a woman, a trans person who identifies as a woman, should they have the same rights and same access to women's spaces?
Yes, of course, a trans woman, like a black woman or a Jewish woman or a disabled woman, should not be discriminated against.
So a trans woman is a woman in your view, even if they have male genitalia, for example?
Well, it's not just my view, it's the law.
I mean, what was that Supreme Court ruling that said, no, a trans woman is a man. That's it. But even if we go back slightly, think about what is being said here.
A Jewish woman or a disabled woman should not be discriminated against.
So a trans woman is a woman in your view, even if they have male genitalia, for example?
Now think about the innocence of childhood. Be assured of this. My only experiences of anybody of the opposite sex was as a child in a swimming pool shower. Yeah, like very young children of the opposite sex would be allowed into the showers or whatever else, but in many instances that would be places like the Commonwealth Pool. Yeah, but at an age where genitalia was so, not very obvious, let's put it that way, that and the innocence of childhood, and the grasp of obviously a mother or a father needing to take their son or daughter to, on a regular basis, things like swimming pools for exercise and, quality family time. There was no issue in that, but I'll also point out that there was many, especially almost Victorian era swimming pools in places like Edinburgh, where each and every cubicle was private. Yeah, I mean they had gaping holes at the bottom, for, well, if say somebody's fainted or whatever else, somebody would be aware of it very quickly. But I mean, I look back and all that with great fondness. The innocence of actually the common sense of what had sufficed us for thousands of years. For people like that, Mr. Patrick Harvey, he would be happy. He encourages men that are deluded into feeling that they're female, will take female hormones, which I think is a very bad idea. And to, essentially, as they're undressing, parade their genitalia to women and young girls of all ages to what benefit? Look, if you feel that, you're deluded into being in the opposite sex, hey, how about your own changing room, But that's not what this is about. This is about the destruction of the West and humanity as we've known it, essentially, for thousands of years. It's, for these people, I mean, Think about this.
Who identifies as a woman, a trans person who identifies as a woman, should they have the same rights and same access to women's spaces?
Yes, of course, a trans woman, like a black woman or a Jewish woman or a disabled woman, should not be discriminated against.
So a trans woman is a woman in your view, even if they have male genitalia, for example?
Well, it's not just my view, it's the law.
Be assured of that. That's not the case. It's really not the case. Yeah, at all. But and I think of fellow YouTuber Mercurius and things like this. I'll leave you a link to it. I shared it earlier with the title "Escape from SMP Prison." Just this is an example. The spread of hate.
Or spread of hate started.
Why are you so scared?
Yeah, I think it was fair to say it was...
I mean, honestly, on reflection, when you look at a lot of, the Greens, the SNP, all the rest of it, they really are quite hateful. And many of them are misandrous. And, all this call for misogyny. Look at the demonization of males over the last 30 years plus. I mean, it's been absolutely outrageous. Yeah. These people are hate-filled.
Beginning of Scotland's downfall. In the end, Nicola Sturgeon knew it all too well. But not before she ruined the lives of countless Scots and the fabric of the whole country.
I mean, remember, honestly, these people that profess to, or somehow feel they're the opposite sex, hate the people that they are trying to emulate, and through blessings of governance, get to enact their delusion. And anybody who's not up for it is a bigot, a transphobe, a hateful this, that, the next thing. While the most innocent of us are being exposed to this. Whether it's swimming pool, changing rooms, or, as an example, or schools in general. Remember, from now, nursery school age, walls covered in trans ideology. And this is but one example of, the hate they have for what they are trying to emulate.
The fabric of the whole country itself, of course.
I mean, seriously.